Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everyone, Jason Hunt here, inviting you to join us every Saturday morning for news. The week's headlines in science fiction, fantasy, horror, comic books, video games, plus Comic-Con updates and the weather, and the occasional interview along the way. We call it Good Morning Multiverse. We hope you join us every Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 Central, right here on Sci-Fi For Me TV.
America's southern border has become a war zone. Human traffickers, drug smugglers, and terrorists flow across the Rio Grande with impunity, secure in the knowledge that no one will stop them. A distant federal government lectures Americans on their privilege while punishing overworked Border Patrol agents who were helpless to stem the tidal wave of invaders and determined migrants. Second-generation Cuban-American Marcos Zamora is a military vet, more patriotic than most Americans. No longer able to ignore the chaos at his doorstep, he acts. Joined by his best friend Gus, they hit the border every night, saving lives while stopping violent drug cartels and other opportunists. The government reacts with fury at Marcos' attempts to preserve American sovereignty, deploying the full might of their enforcement agencies. But Marcos understands that the only thing the rich and powerful fear is bad publicity, and he records every encounter. Whoever he is, this private American must be stopped. Illustrated by Richard Bonk and written by Eisner winner Mike Barron, Private American is his version of Captain America, and maybe a little Punisher, taking part in this ongoing, violent, and very real battle of good versus evil in the war for American sovereignty. Grab your copy at theprivateamerican.com.
We have a secure border, and that is a priority for our administration.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's a hell of a singer and a powerful man, Mr. Ben Fuselier.
I'm a hell of a singer. I want to know who's singing your theme song.
Yeah, she's a young lady I found on Fiverr. She does lots of different tunes, and I've actually referred her to other people, and she's done jingles for their podcasts and special shows. So yeah, she's available for work, and she's very reasonably priced. So if you're interested, I can get you the hookup on that. In case you want some harmony when those spurs go jingle jingle jingle. Yeah, I was tuned in there watching. What was that game? That was
Fallout New Vegas.
okay. I couldn't tell whether it's like Red Death Redemption or something because it's like they all kind of look alike to me. If I'm not there for the opening scene, then I don't know. I always thought Fallout just had the cute little cartoon boy in the spacesuit, and
Yeah, Fallout's an interesting game because it's Mad Max, but it's like Mad Max combined with like the 50s style of science fiction and like post-apocalyptic stuff. And that's why New Vegas is one of my favorite games, and I figured why don't I just play it on my channel?
yeah.
While I make a fool of myself.
We can share screens like that now. I mean, were you playing it on your PC and sharing the screen, or were you doing one of these little, one of those boxes you get? You got to buy a special box to hook your PS3 up to your screen.
Oh no, I was playing it right on my PC using OBS.
Okay, that'll do it. The last time I'm not a gamer, and the last game I bought that I actually tried to play was American McGee's Alice. Yeah,
I don't think I've even heard of that.
That goes back at least 20 years.
Oh God!
And I didn't have a gaming PC, so it was like I'm using the keyboard commands, and I got like the third level where you're supposed to shoot the Jabberwock right between the two scales. I'm like, I can't aim with the arrow keys and hitting the space bar. It sucks. So I quit playing it. But before that, it was like Civilization, Warcraft before it went online. So I speak fluent Iktug, Zuk, and I've blown up my share of sheep. But again, it was just me playing it on the PC. Now my PC doesn't even have a CD drive on it to put the game in, so I have no idea how I would get it in there to play it. But I wouldn't mind playing some games sometime. Maybe when I retire at 70, 75. Get a big version of Candy Crush for the laptop so I can actually see the things. That's my level of gaming. But you, sir, are more than a gamer. You are a comic book creator.
Yep. Yes, indeedy.
So this is your second campaign?
Technically third, because I launched Outlaw Nights once, like the first issue, and I failed the first campaign, and then I relaunched about a few months after that, and we managed to succeed. So this is my second. Well, I was about to say.
Campaign.
Yeah, I was about to say this is my second successful campaign, but well, we're not there yet.
Not there yet. So what did you do different on the second campaign from the first?
Biggest thing was just that I was a little overconfident in that I was just advertising on Twitter.
Okay.
And I mean, we managed to pull in a little over 2K, but yeah, like people got to see your face. And I learned that the difficult way.
Yeah, that's the way this particular market works. I mean, we now demand to see the person making the book.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, we want to know you. We want to have a relationship with you, and then we'll give you our money. And sometimes you make 5,000, sometimes you make 4.5 million. The rest of it's
That's
sort of
the
in between there. Yeah. Yeah. The goal is definitely that 4.5 million. I still don't see it, but I want to see what number 2 gets him. Really, I want to see if he can pull it off a second time. If he can, man, I'd be like, yep. Hope you enjoyed the 2 issues. That's the whole story. I'm out of here. I'm done. I'm retired. I don't need to make comics anymore.
Well, like that's the thing about it though, is like this story, like I've got a little saga here planned out. So my plan is to get through to at least issue 8.
Okay, so you got an arc in place.
Yep.
Plotted all the way out that far, or just sort of plotted some of the way and the rest of it you know where it's going?
Yeah, it's like I've got the end figured out. And it's sort of like I'm building in between as I go.
Let me remind people, first of all, that the link to the Indiegogo is right below the video down there, and Frog G has thrown it into the chat. So if you're too lazy to scroll down 1.5 inches, you can click it right there in the chat and head out to it. Unless you're on Twitch, in which case there are no links. So in that case, copy right now, write it down, so that you don't forget it. Okay, pause the video at that point. You can come back and catch up to us. Also on Twitter, same deal, guys. Just scroll back, catch it, type it in. Let me take the little fancy border down here because we want to show the campaign off, and it would just get in the way now. Outlaw Nights. Now this is where'd you come up with the title for this? Because I mean, it's not like it's not like it's Outlaw Knights with a K, and that's the name of the team, and they're doing stuff like Robin Hood. So what does the title mean for you?
I really just came up with it as like it was just a snappy title that I just kind of cobbled together. It was really just I was thinking about like what would be kind of like a romanticized sounding adventure for like pirates in the future, and I really like I just came up. I thought like something nights, like something about nighttime.
Yeah,
really just kind of it was not a logical thought process. It just kind of was like what sounds really cool.
It sets the mood.
And then I kind of, from that, I managed to kind of build off of that. I'm like, okay, well, since I have nights in the title, it's like, well, it makes sense. Number one, they're traveling in space, so it's never really daytime. So in a way, it's always like they're in an eternal night. And then also I thought of it in terms of like they mainly pull all their jobs at nighttime.
So, Outlaw Nights. Yeah, it's It does kind of set the tone for it. I mean, there's shows and books that have done the same thing. Moonlighting, Maddie and David weren't working a second job as detectives. It was just, so why was it called Moonlighting? Don't know. It just seemed to work. And this was the same way. It's they're outlaws. They're pirates. They're pirates in outer space.
Yes,
and this
indeed.
cover is okay. Tell me that you went and saw Black Adam and just came home and whipped this out, because
I really, with like the covers and stuff, it's like Jay Krager did that one, and I just kind of told him like, just kind of do a cover, like I want you to, I sent him a digital copy of the first comic, and I gave him the script, and I was like, just kind of do something that like, I guess you want to do with it. And he came up with this because he really liked Wellington.
And his all that lightning bolt energy going on around him there. I'm trying to remember his book. It wasn't Hammerella, that was Ryan's book, but it's another girl with a big hammer and lightning, kind of Thorish like.
I know Jay Krager did work on a book called Hammer.
Probably just Hammer then. But he does this character looks like one of his 3D busts. He does those as well, and a very good job of it. Maybe you might want to say, hey, you like the character that much? Let's do a stretch goal kind of thing here.
He said Wellington was kind of his favorite because in the script There was one panel during one of the fight scenes where I mentioned electricity coming out of the arm, and that was what really spoke to him the most.
I like the well. First of all, I like the fact that it's not just the cyborg arm here. I mean, that's a lot of cool characters from Cable to Terminator, all have that kind of thing going for them. But the over the top bit is his identification plate. It's just there's no reason for that. It's just, I don't have a uniform shirt on, so this is my shirt. So there's my dog tag.
I mean, he's supposed to be a British soldier in the future, but it's that he specializes particularly in hunting pirates, and he's rather he's a little manic about it.
So in this instance, he would be more the antagonist of the story, even though he's on the side of the law.
Yep.
So what's it like then writing a book where the bad guys are the main character? I mean, when I say bad guys, I don't know how bad they are. They're thieves, certainly. Maybe they're
definitely a shade of gray, but they lean more on the mischievous side. It's like I'm playing around with the idea, and I guess this kind of reflects, in many ways, kind of like what's going on with my worldview in a lot of ways, where it's the idea is like a lot of times the people you're told are the bad guys are not necessarily the bad guys. And that, people you're told are supposed to be the really good guys aren't always super good. So it's like you got to kind of, a lot of times you're choosing between two bad things, trying to determine which one is less bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like we've ever been lied to before about that. Come on. It's a science fiction. We're making it all up. So is he like is Wellington like a regular in the arc? I mean, or is he more like, for this issue, I'm here. Next issue, someone else will be your antagonist.
He's mainly in this issue, but he is going to be in the next issue a little bit, but not like very prominently. That's as far as I can go without giving too much away.
Yeah. I get you. And every picture is of him. So tell us who we really are interested in seeing.
Well, I mean, mainly
he's cool, but it's not his story. He's sort of usurping the tale here. He's spinning off the Wellington one shot in the future. Here's what's happening.
Well, his design is just so effing cool, and I like the idea. And I feel like really like stories. I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, are attracted to stories like with really menacing, badass-looking villains.
Yeah, and it's sort of a '90s thing, '90s carryover from the Image stuff, where everybody was over muscled and over cybered, and we haven't seen it for a while.
In space.
Yeah, it works out in space just fine. Now this guy looks like he works out in San Francisco.
Serpent is actually one of my favorite characters. He gets fleshed out a lot more. Not in this issue so much. I think in the next couple issues he will be, because I don't know if you read issue number 1, but he kind of gets the ball rolling towards the end of the issue. Like he does something that doesn't make a lot of sense at the time. Well, I can pretty much say it. Like he's the one who essentially kind of kidnaps Cyrus, and it doesn't really make sense for him to kidnap Cyrus, but he's got his own agenda going. It's just we're not gonna fully see why for a little while. We're just gonna, we got to build up the tension a little bit.
Okay, so being outlaws pulling jobs, are they? And it being an 8-issue arc, is this one big slow burn heist, or is this a sequence of events?
Yeah, it's
heist?
gonna be a heist that they're hoping will ultimately kind of be their coup de grace. It's gonna be like, this will be the heist that we can retire from.
It's a Outlaws 11 kind of thing.
Exact. Ocean's 11 was a big influence for me for this.
I love that movie. Because I don't know, I'm just a sucker for heist movies in general, but then the kind where it's like, wait, how did that all happen? And then you hear the record scratch and they roll back and then they start showing all the behind the scenes. Oh, that's where that guy went. That's what that guy did.
Now, I'm not going to necessarily do that with this, but it's the idea of like a team working together and using deception and subterfuge. You know, that's definitely a major part of it.
Yeah, I mean, for it being set in the future and in space, I'm kind of surprised that Wellington's the only one that looks like he stepped out of 2000 AD here. I mean, you know, okay, they've got guns that defy convention, so you know, we just say, hey, future gun. But everything else just kind of looks like, hey, we're fighting on a ship, and I mean, like a ship in the water.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know. I had I like, all these clothes are done to like my specific, you know. I told the artist basically this is how I wanted them to dress and look. Because I always felt like with a lot of sci-fi stuff set in the future, I don't like how kind of uniform everything looks. Like, I absolutely hate the way characters dress in Star Trek. And
well, that was a military outfit. So
yeah, but like even that, like I would have preferred like totally different uniforms. Like, you know, I like the idea of like masculinity, and I like the idea of like everybody kind of having their own individual look, and it says something about their characters. And yeah, yeah, I'm not, I guess I didn't go too futuristic with the clothing, but I guess in a way I'm thinking of it as sort of like these are the colonies, so things aren't quite as up to date or advanced as they are on Earth, which is called the inland now. Like, these are kind of the rustic regions.
Okay, so they're still developed, still being worked on.
Yeah, it's like they're detached from mainstream society.
How far do you put a date on it? I mean, how far into the future are you setting the thing?
I did put a date on it, and I haven't looked at my script in a hot minute, so I kind of forgot what year it was.
It's funny when you write the future stuff though, because it's like, what are we going to have in 100 years? And you start thinking of stuff and you put it in there, and then like after you publish this, like next year, here's all this new tech that you're like, that was in my book. We have that for 100 years yet, and now it's here. So
in a way, I think I went a little simpler with it, just because, you know, in most sci-fi, I see like, you know, it's like, oh, we got laser guns and we're shooting particle beams and all that, and I'm like, I just kind of want really cool guns that are just slightly more advanced than your average guns.
Yeah, I would love to, you know, see something on Star Trek where they're like, he's pulling a weapon. Quick, put up our force field that blocks all rays, and it's a bullet and it just goes right through it. Because bullet. It's like, holy shit, he's got a real gun. That was something my friend and I used to joke about with the X-Men cartoon, and even the X-Men comics at the time, was that, you know, they were always being shot at by the, you know, these AIM agents or by Henry Gyrich's agents, and all the guns were like laser guns and just shooting beams of things, and, you know, pew 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 pew. and he's like, you know, what would it be like if they just showed up in an alley sometime and here's a, you know, some thug with a 44 or 45 Magnum, and they're like, we'll take him down. Pow! Oh my God, he's firing bullets. What are we gonna do?
Well, Wolverine would be just fine, but
He'd be like, what's wrong with you guys? Have you never seen a bullet before? I've shot 100 of these things on a Wednesday. So who's this character here that we're looking at? Because he's got a unique look to him.
that is Kodiak. He is the away team leader for the ship Hazard, and he's very much a no-nonsense, and I would say he's the least trusting of the crew, and we'll find out why as the series progresses.
So I've seen 3 guys. Is that the crew? Or
Well, there's
now we got a woman in the crew.
yeah, there's a few others. It's just I think for these first 2 issues, we're mostly focusing on Cyrus, Serpent, and Ivory, and we just kind of lightly get introduced to everybody else, and they're gonna get fleshed out a little bit more down the line. Like the woman there is Code. She's a hacker on the ship, mostly into computers, but she is no stranger to knives and guns. Yeah. And she doesn't talk a lot because she lets her knife do most of the talking. And
Kodiak's got poor trigger control, by the way. He's got his finger right on the trigger through the. You don't walk that way, man. That's not good discipline.
he it's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
He meant to do it. He's going to shoot somebody. He wanted his finger on the trigger. Now these all kind of look pin-up. Like, are these panels taken from the book, or?
Well, they're actually, most of these are just art pages. Some of them will become posters, but they're going to be featured in the book itself. They're just not going to be part of the main story. Although that one in particular is actually from the book. Okay. And that was actually done by my original artist on issue 1, because we were doing things kind of out of order back then. And back then, like, both these were actually one issue, and I had to cut it in half to make things feasible. But he ended up making 3 of the pages for this issue, and I just really love them so much that I wanted to keep them. Although I am having my artist kind of try his hand at his own version of these pages, just out of curiosity. But I love them, and I've been wanting to get them out, especially since like everybody loves this page.
Yeah, and by the way, anytime folks out there, if you run a campaign and Indiegogo puts a hamper on you and says, "Oh, bloody violence, we don't allow that," come back here after it's done and say, "Well, who was asleep when you did this?" Because
that's Jello coming out of his arm.
Okay, he's stuffed with Jello. We got it.
it's nobody hurts each other in this.
Yeah, no fictional characters were harmed in the making of this comic.
Yeah, that's actually an antagonist that we're briefly getting introduced to in this issue, who's going to become more prominent in the next issue.
But this is a guy who basically said the wrong thing in front of the wrong guy.
Oh yeah. It's like the captain of the pirate ship that we're following in Outlaw Nights is named Ivory, and he's more of like a wise ass, heavy drinker, and he's kind of a trickster. Whereas this is another pirate captain named Taurus, and he is far more hot-tempered and unforgiving than Ivory is. He's not sly. He's not a wise ass. He's a guy pretty much addicted to speed who does not like to be told no.
Okay. So you've got Taurus, and I'm reading the name Aurelius on here. So you got a bit of a Roman influence in the characters.
Here and there, like a lot, like all the pirates have special code names they go by, because they are legally dead. That's how they're able to skirt around Big Brother so much, is that their original identities are officially deceased. So they go by new names that they all choose.
I like that ship design. I mean, it's nowhere near aerodynamic, and you know that it doesn't have to be because you're in space. Uh, there is no, there's no wind resistance to worry about.
That was all Juanito. He came up with that ship all himself.
I'm seeing a lot of ships lately with the warp ring kind of built around them, sort of almost like they're carrying their warp device with them, and they're always in the middle of it.
Well, I know like those I think that's meant to kind of represent the ring I had in issue 1, which was essentially a checkpoint. And it was meant to be like, all space traffic going into this particular planet had to pass through this ring because there was sort of a gravity well
Okay.
that kind of pulls them through, and it's a checkpoint. It's to check for terrorists and pirates and such, but of course our guys have their ways around security.
Sure. Sure. Well, they better, or they're not worth their weight in piracy. Um, so other ways you can help. Biggest hurdle is exposure. That's why you're here, and why you're going to be on other people's channels. I'm guessing that you're already lined up on a bunch of stuff.
Well, I've got a few folks, but I can always do more.
Yeah, you got to. So I will. I'll make sure you have all my contacts and get you introduced to the people that you need to talk to. But the thing is, you know them already. You're not a stranger to this community. You've been around a while. We know you. So asking and getting on shouldn't really be a problem. You've got several different tiers here. So you got. Okay, I've got to rethink it here. Outlaw Nights, not on, because it's ON. It's shortened for us, and I almost read it that way. So Outlaw Nights issue 2 plus the variant poster. Did we see the variant poster in one of these images and I didn't know it, or?
Yes, it was the second Jay Krager piece of Ivory and Wellington fighting. That one.
Right here, that's the poster.
Yep.
And how big is that?
Let's see. It's gonna be about
Is it like fit the comic or bigger than the comic?
bigger than the comic. It's just it's not gonna be huge, but it's definitely gonna be bigger than the comic.
Oh, that's a shipping fun thing. I can tell you, we when it's bigger than the Gemini, if it's 9x12, we put it in these suckers here. But I've seen people, and I've got some up here above me. They went the full 24x36. The Walmart poster that the posters that they sell in Walmart that big. And
I didn't go that big.
Yeah, few people do, but I bought the tubes to handle it for those who do it, because it's apparently a thing. If you want to just get an issue of Outlaw Nights, number 2, it is $20. Estimated shipping, it's not telling me yet, and I'm not going to click it yet because I don't want to. People know who I am, but you don't know my credit card information, and one of these days it'll pop up when I click it. So, but $20 for how many pages are we looking at? I know you said you split the book into 2 pieces already to get this second issue.
It's gonna be about 25, though. With the art pages added in, it'll probably be a little bit more.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere around 30.
Close to 30-page book for the $20. And then, of course, you have a poster that's representative of the cover, which is the first Jay Krager picture, this one right here.
Yes, indeed.
And that one looks like if I turned a black light on, it would look really cool.
It's, I mean, that like I knew that was gonna be the cover. Like the second he showed it to me, just because like that psychotic look on Wellington's face, that just says it all to me.
Yeah, he's pissed, and so does he have a prior beef with this team, or is
He
this his
just has a hard on for hating pirates.
pirates killed my mother and father? So
It's just, they're the opposite of law and order. And they're making a mockery of the law.
so he's kind of a Judge Dredd.
Pretty much, yeah.
I, I like that. I like that thought a lot. Um, so where did I stop here? You can get both issues in digital. 1 and 2, $35. Get the whole thing taken care of. If you don't have space for your books, or you just don't want to pay the international shipping, completely understood. You can get them that way. Now this is interesting. This is both issues, one digitized. The first issue in digital, second issue, $35. So it's really only what? Let's do the math. It's 20 for the book, 15 for the digital of number 1. There you go. Are you out of digital number 1, or are you running low on them?
No, I just kind of thought like maybe for somebody who just doesn't want like to get like the physical of both, like they just kind of want issue 1 to kind of figure out what's going on in issue 2. It might not have been my most logical decision, but
And you can do it. You can get digital and physical in of number 2 both together, so you can take it with you and keep it home bagged up.
Yep.
And here, of course, you can get the physical of both. $40 knocks the price down to $20 each, folks. So that's a deal right there. You can get 2 copies of issue number 2, one for each eye, or if you read in stereo. But of course, this is so Christmas is coming. You want to have a copy, and you want to have a copy to give to your friend who reads comics. That won't work because you're shipping in June, so never mind. I've been in a Christmas frame of mind since midnight. Halloween was over. It's Mariah Carey season.
Yeah, but like my thing is like with the way we're going right now, Juanito is currently cranking out some pages, so there's a strong chance that we're going to be wrapped up a lot earlier than June. So like my hope is to get the book out earlier than that date. I just set that as the date as a safety net just in case, because you never know, like something's always going to go wrong at some point. And then, I'd basically trying to plan for any inevitable delays.
Yeah, it's we have had one campaign, and it was a hardcover book. The interior was done. All I had to do was just finish the funding. So as soon as it's funded, I'm just going to turn it over to the printer and order the hardcover books, and it'd be done. So the hardcover books came in, and they didn't have dust jackets on them. So I'm like writing back to him and getting the dust jackets, and I'm putting them back on. We were into the next month from what I had promised.
Yeah,
not terribly late, but still, I was late books.
That's I had a similar issue with issue 1, although it was more that my original artist up and vanished off the face of the earth, and I had to replace him at the last minute.
He did that to a lot of people. Either that or because I hear that story all the time. The artist just vamoosed, left.
Well, it's like it wasn't even that he was ghosting me. It's that he just like nobody has spoken to him since. So I don't even know if he's alive. Like
I've got like 4 packages up here for all the crowdfunding campaigns that I've fulfilled. I've got 4 packages that have come back or have not found an address for, and nobody knows where they are. I've got one guy who's backed 2 campaigns 6 months apart, didn't put his damn address on either one of them, and nobody can reach him. So Jeff Lee, if you're listening, do you ever get your Kickstarter books? Because I think I know why. I went into like my email. I'm like, was he on other campaigns? And 2 other things popped up. One of them was a campaign I had that he was in the spreadsheet for with no address. And another one was just an announcement from Carl Kiesel. And his book says, hey, by the way, here's a list of names of people who haven't filled out their surveys. And his name was on that list. I'm like, this dude just throws money at Kickstarter and gets nothing in return. Must be nice. But it sure does frustrate those of us who are holding the book. Oh. So you can get both issues. You got to mix and match here. Now we're getting the posters in both copies thrown together. The variety poster, no, the variant poster, both issues. Three copies. Did you do any add-ons?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I've got a couple of other poster ideas in the works that I'll either add as perks on the main campaign or as secret perks on the email list, because I've already got a secret perk out on the email list involving a poster. And I got a couple of ideas I'm playing with, like a while back, Selena Hernandez.
Yes.
Yeah, I had her doing some chibis of some of the characters, and I had to stop for a while because I was running low on money. But
yeah, I know that one.
But I'm basically, my hope is, like, I think I'm gonna set as like our first stretch goal. I'm gonna make it to where if we can hit that stretch goal, we're gonna throw in some chibi stickers.
The reason I was asking about add-ons was more because I think a lot of your tiers here could have been handled through the add-on function, where instead of saying, hey, here you can get 3 copies, just sell the book, and then, by the way, if you want more, go to the add-on page and just add them on. Then you don't have to.
That's me being ignorant of the system.
It's just learning something new. I mean, I learn something new all the time on this thing, and I don't even have a campaign most of the time. One of the things I blew my mind was I was interviewing Kara Nicole, and she had a tier on there that was nothing. It was like $10 shipping, and you get nothing. I'm like, okay. She's like, but here's the thing. Once you've bought nothing, you go to the add-on page, and you just throw on the things that you wanted. If none of these tiers are what you want, just go to the asset. I want one of these and one of those. And there was no tier that said I could get that. And then you just put them in the invisible shopping bag that you paid for the shipping on. And there you go. It's like those library sales, when you walk in the door and they're like $5 for a paper sack, and then you just fill it when you get in there.
Oh, wow. Oh, Lord.
It blew my mind. She's a brilliant entrepreneur.
That is brilliant. Now, I had heard the word add-on before, but I had no idea what it meant. So now I know.
It's just everything in the back. Oh, by the way, when you create your items, if it's a different item, make sure you give it a different name in the SKUs. You know how you added your SKUs in? You're like, what are you selling? You're selling book number 2. Okay, so you have 2 covers. They're not the same book. Don't make them the same SKU. Don't just say, yeah, he bought book number 2. You got to look back at what the tier was to figure out which one it really is. Save yourself the heartache. Just say, book 2, A, book 2B. Just if it's gonna be that simple, but something to where when you get the data back and you're like, this guy's getting this, this, and this, you don't get confused.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of. I've dealt with a lot of campaigns where this has been a case, where it's like, yeah, we got the book. Well, which book? Well, it depends on what tier they were on. Like, so you got to read all the way back to where they were. No, that's not fun. This should be a lot faster if you just differentiate. I'm not calling any one specific person out because I've seen it happen at least 4 times in the last 6 months. So it's everybody. Everybody, please make everything unique and individual. You have a retail pack.
Yep.
So retailers who want to get 10 copies, $190. I can do the math. It's that's less than $20 a book, so it's cheaper than the single book,
Yep.
and you can even get 5 and 5 for the same 190.
Yeah,
So-
I wanted to I wanted to do 10 and 10, but Indiegogo said you can't surpass 10 of items for whatever reason.
I did not know that. So
I don't.
you can't have 10. So well, that explains why I see so many weird tiers then, because I'm like, they've got 12 items, but they're always stopping, they're always leaving one thing out of something.
Yep.
Huh. I did
It's
not know
bizarre.
that.
I don't
Well,
know why.
See, I learned something tonight. So one more thing to put on the old list of things when I'm consulting with people. Damn, Indiegogo, that's weird. And by the way, Indiegogo, unshadow ban Mike Barron, please. There's
Yeah.
that's a stupid thing you guys are doing.
And why
I'm assuming.
now?
Yeah. I'm assuming that if people go on Indiegogo and they don't follow the link right below and they just look up Outlaw Nights, they don't have any problem finding you, right?
Oh yeah.
It takes you right to it. Okay. So, do you have other stories in your head that you want to tell, either in this universe or in different comics?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I didn't know that Frogsy, are you banned?
Yeah, they shadow banned him too. Makes no sense.
I gotta see that. That makes. Y'all keep this up. Oh, Indiegogo. Y'all keep this up, and we're gonna find another platform to go to.
I don't know what their metric is for doing that, and I have no idea why, after all this time, they would choose now to do that. I don't get it.
Maybe Elon Musk can buy Indiegogo.
I want Elon to buy Indiegogo, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook.
Buying everything might be a might raise some hackles. But if since you can't look up voodoo gods, maybe if I put voodoo gods and magic, surely that would work. Drum roll, please. And it'll be the very first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th.
My God. That is ridiculous.
Okay, Indiegogo, this is not cool. And I could see them with the Mike Barron book, because they're like, oh, we don't want to touch a political hot button. At least it would tell me that, okay, you're doing it, but you have your reason for doing it. Bad reason, but you're doing it. This is food. I don't want to do that. I want to stay right where it was. Come on, there we are, right back there. This is crazy talk here. For Voodoo Gods Magic, there's no reason to shadow ban that. And thank you for throwing up the link for Private American as well, because I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to write an article on criticalblast.com about Indiegogo shadow banning campaigns. I don't want to. I don't have the time to. So, Indiegogo, if you spare me the time, put the campaigns back out there where they can be searched. This is ridiculous.
Is anybody that was working for Kickstarter a while back suddenly working for Indiegogo or something?
That would not surprise me.
That's all I can think of as like a reason for that happening.
It's going to cause a shift to Kickstarter, or it's going to cause a shift to people who are running their own platforms. And folks, if you have a PayPal account, and yeah, I know a lot of people close their PayPal account. If you have a PayPal account, it comes with a PayPal store. You can put your book on your own PayPal store and just tell people, go here and buy my book. Um,
Oh shit.
yeah. Surprise! Didn't know it was there,
Hmm.
did you?
Well, there's an option there
There
in
is an
case the
option.
worst should happen.
So I don't know. Maybe they're cooperating with PayPal to drive people that direction. After all the bad publicity PayPal had, it pushed some people to our way. We'll make an account just to have the store now.
I just don't
Something's
understand
got to
why
shake out of it.
I don't understand why Indiegogo would like turn money away at this point.
Yeah. Why would at any point? I mean, look at all the money Thin Blue Line made. That was a blockbuster. So you would think Mike Barron would be the last person they would try to kick out right now. So, Frog, do you think IGG got a new trust and safety console right around the time Kickstarter was letting some of theirs go? Yeah, that's what we were just saying here. And of course, if you're Kickstarter trust and safety and you're let go, where are you going to go? There's only one other game in town. Maybe. But the thing is that Kickstarter has a phone number that people answer, and Indiegogo doesn't. Indiegogo has a phone number, and it's a recording, and it doesn't take a message, and it tells you to basically go to their website and send a message from there. And nobody reads those either. I do have some help response emails that help center people were foolish enough to send me emails from their personal accounts. Maybe I should take advantage of those things and just say, hey, curious about this. What the hell? Okay. Yeah. Ferb, I know what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to ask a direct pointed question, and it's going to be basically writing an article about this. Would you like to have any comments on it? And we'll see what happens. Anyway, Outlaw Nights, currently not shadow banned. Let's talk it up to the point where Indiegogo worries about it a little bit, and then we can really push it. We can say the book Indiegogo doesn't want you to see. So,
well, I'm under the radar for right now.
Yeah, sometimes a good place to be. So where do you go from here, Ben? I mean, and I'm talking the shows. For promotion. You got anything planned up where people go see you next?
I am gonna be on Bancroft's channel on Thursday, and then I'm gonna be on Screecher. I'm gonna be on his channel on Friday, and I'm gonna try to make it to Frog G's channel, Midnight Madness, MMM.
Gotcha. Frog G, by the way, I thought we were planning
DM
something,
group,
and I don't have you on the calendar. So Frog, hit me up and find out why you're not on my calendar for a show. Because you're not here, and you need to be. Well, you don't need to be. You've seen how good I am at it. You're probably better off finding somebody else. But if you got an open night, we would love to have you on.
That's it. Monday morning marathon. I should know that by heart by now. I'm ashamed.
I'm in the DM group, and I didn't remember it.
No, I'm in the DM group. That's why I'm like, I should know this by heart.
Oh, Michael T's channel for the Monday morning marathon. I can't do marathons anymore. Yeah, I want you on a Critical Blast show. And by the way, I'm going to make a special point. I'm bagging and boarding and packaging all night tonight. I know I've seen your name up there. Normally, I make sure that everything that's of one kind gets put together and then everything of another kind. But I've seen your name. I'm going to make a special point to go pull yours so that tomorrow morning your copy of Kozor will go out with all the other several copies going out tomorrow morning. So you'll get an email tonight about that when I print the labels. Frog G. So, all right. Well, Ben, I've refreshed the page, and as predicted, I've done nothing of value for you. I have wasted an hour of your time when you could have been playing more Fallout And
any channel, I'm totally down to come on and talk Outlaw Nights. I think it all bears fruit in the end.
we do get people come in on the replays. And by the way, if you're here for the replay, you know when you are. You're not now, you're then. It's now to you. It's then to us. Time travel, I hate it. But the link will still be below the video. Just click there. You can still listen to us yammer on about the book while you're paying for the book. Go throw some money at this thing. And Ben, thank you for coming on. Do appreciate all our guests. Wish I could have, had a shake and bake moment with you here where we had somebody throwing in Beckett. But it's a quiet night. I don't know why. Somebody will say, well, Ethan was streaming. I'm like, so what? He's always streaming. must be a bigger event than that. Folks in the chat, thank you guys for being here as well. We don't have a show without you. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast. Good night.